Good evening, and welcome to the first Rules and Public Policy meeting of 2025. Welcome, welcome. Did everybody receive a copy of the agenda?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Does anybody need a paper copy? I did take the opportunity to go ahead and print out several copies just in case somebody in the viewing audience wanted one. So, and I made sure to add Ms. Chichester to the membership role here. So our agenda is kind of short, but I would like to first talk to you guys about what you think about going back to our meetings.
I'm for it.
Okay.
Okay. What about you, Ms. Zorb?
Yeah, I'm for it.
I was kind of getting used to having a Monday off, but I guess it depends on how heavy everyone's agenda is. If there's not a heavy agenda, is there a need to?
Right. So,
I mean, it's a balancing act, right?
right. I mean, I just think that when our agenda is heavy, it just 30 minutes seems like it's not long enough. But our agenda is not really heavy every month. So maybe
that's my point.
maybe the compromise is, we meet every other month or whatever, or I don't know. I just want to kind of have a conversation about it. That's all.
Madam Chair,
Yes.
I think I prefer to get that hour. I mean, and am I right or am I wrong? If we don't use the whole hour, we can just pass it on, right?
Not exactly,
Okay.
because every meeting has a time, a designated time that it starts. So you can't start a meeting early.
Right. Yes.
So if I have a meeting that's scheduled for an hour, it's not like I can end 30 minutes early and then just start the next meeting. I would still have to wait
Okay.
for the official start time for the next meeting.
Madam Chair.
Stop saying Madam Chair.
I just believe the hour will work a lot better for
For
me.
you, right? Okay, sure. All right.
Thank you.
Ms. Chichester,
I'm fine with it.
you're fine with what?
It being an hour, going to an hour, just fine.
Oh, okay.
What time will we start then? If we
Well-
start at 5:30?
No. No. It would be, we would have, obviously 2 meetings on one Monday and 2 meetings on the second Monday and 2 meetings on the fourth Monday. So that's what Ms. Zorb was referencing. I was really enjoying having that extra Monday off as well. So I just,
Okay.
how about, I can leave it on the agenda and we can just talk more about it and see how things go for a couple more months and see, how things progress. If that's okay with everybody?
Fine with me?
Okay.
Ms. Underwood, for the minutes, can I make sure I understood where we landed? So we're going to leave it at the half an hour mark for now
Yes,
and reevaluate in a couple months.
yes.
Okay.
Ms. Curitan? You're welcome. Okay, so I don't know if you all remember the recommendations that the Planning Commission sent to us. Everybody remember way back when I sent that to everybody. So the Planning Commission wants to meet with us, not us, this committee, like us council, and just to talk about their recommendations and the comprehensive plan. Obviously, 30 minutes is not going to be long enough to do that, so they want to schedule an extra meeting. Was really excited to hear that. So I'm wanting to talk to you guys about that as well.
I will say the silver lining is we have an extra Monday right now,
Now,
right?
That's true, very true. Okay, so you would be open to that? Okay, Ms. Chichester?
yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't have a problem. We can meet with them.
Okay, well, so that's exciting. We'll have so how do we want to do we want to have that as a meeting of the whole or a special committee meeting?
Excuse
How
me.
formal do you want it to be?
Right. Is it meeting to hold and
Again, I'm so excited about having an additional meeting. You know, I
Yeah, I
just,
see it all
I
over your
just
face.
don't really know what to choose.
No, it's all written all over your face.
My
is.
suggestion would be a special committee meeting, and then it's still informal, and they could even sit up at the table and be an invited guest and have microphones, and
Okay, I like
I
it.
think that might be the most conducive to the interaction that I suspect they're looking for.
Okay. Okay, we can do that. So that means that one of my action items then is to schedule a special committee meeting. How long of a meeting do we want to have?
yeah, it'd be an hour. That couldn't be no shorter than an hour. Possibly longer.
The reason I'm asking you is because I'm very cognizant of other people's time. And if we all agree to an hour, that is what it will be. We will not be sitting there for 2 or 3 hours. It will not occur.
So are we just, I mean, are we going to have this meeting to further discuss the comprehensive plan?
I just
plan
want to
and
hear, I want to hear
recommendations?
them out. I have my own ideas about that. I would just, if they want to meet with us, I'm certainly open to that.
I mean, I'm open to meeting with them. I was just wanting to know what was the basis of the meeting.
I have
mean,
no
are we-
idea. They want to meet with us, so, you know.
So, I mean, I'm down.
They may
with
want to
it.
just do a presentation or something.
I mean, we
so-
already did that. We've already been presented it with the information. I still have it. Don't you? Don't you guys?
No,
still have it?
they've made some recommendations, so
Yeah.
We
I,
haven't
yeah, we
moved
got
on
them
it, so
too.
that's
We still
probably.
should hear them out and see if
Absolutely.
they want to meet.
Madam Chair, if I had to speculate, I would think that they maybe wanted to discuss if council or the committee had any additional concerns, because I think, as Ms. Zorb was getting ready to allude to, there hasn't been any movement, so they've been questioning where it is, why is it still there? So just trying to get a feeling of whether or not council has any
Well,
other concerns.
I would, here's what my idea was about the comprehensive plan. So it's a huge thing, and it's not anything that we're going to be able to just kind of like in one sitting say, here's how we're going to do this, here's how we're going to do that. We're going to have to kind of break it down into, you know, smaller portions and pieces. And that may look like us looking at one particular goal or initiative and saying we can accomplish that with grant money or other kind of funding. Looking at another particular thing and saying we need, you know, follow up. We need to, you know, get somebody to follow up on approaching or addressing that particular issue. It just kind of depends on, you know, the things in the plan. So that was kind of what my thought process was
And there-
with
and
regard
it's
to
just-
that.
It's just suggestive, the entire plan.
Right. I just, you know, I didn't want to just ignore it because we paid a lot of money for it.
Exactly.
But at the same time, it's not anything we're going to be able to sit down and just kind of in one sitting say, okay, A person, you do this, B person, you do that, C person, you do that. We just need to
And I
kind
did
of,
talk to Ms. Brooks, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. Because I do know that the plans that, the comprehensive plan, that, I can't get my words together. the changes that were made, they were, according to Ms. Brooks, sent back to Urban Fast Forward. So just consider that as well, that what.
What
Sent back
changes?
to Urban Fast Forward by
Yeah.
whom?
By whom and
The
when?
planning committee, it wouldn't have been sent by you. When the planning committee made their changes, they were supposed to send it back to the people who did the comprehensive plan so they can compare what they thought those changes were. That was part of their looking over the plan, the planning committee. So what I'm saying is that the changes that the planning committee made, I was told they were sent back to Urban Fast Forward so that they can review those changes and to see what exactly those were.
So the plan that they already previously gave us,
It was the final one after they sent it back.
after they sent it back. Okay, gotcha.
Yes.
So, because that's the one I've been reviewing, and I'm just want to make sure. So I'm looking at
I
what
just didn't know
the
if you
finished
were
product.
aware of that, but
Yes.
they
Okay.
were supposed to, when they
Gotcha.
made their changes, send it back to Urban Fast Forward.
Oh, okay. All right, fair enough.
Ms. Underwood?
Yes.
Sorry, Madam Chair.
So,
Hey, you. I don't know what you want me to call you. You said not Miss Madam Chair, so I don't know what to call you. Sorry.
I mean,
So, I guess I got a little confused because I thought they wanted to come and talk about that recommendation letter, and then we started talking about the comprehensive plan.
yeah,
Do they want to talk about both? Do they want to talk about one, the
I
other?
suspect both, because I think that they believe that we haven't acted on the comprehensive plans, and some of the things that they are recommending in their list of recommendations, I believe, were things that they got from the comprehensive plan. At least that's what I believe and assume, without having any further information.
Okay, thank you.
chair person.
You kind of put us in a pickle. We don't know what to call you.
Okay, it's fine. Madam Chair is fine.
There you
Okay.
go, Madam Chair.
Yes.
So I previously remember discussing the recommendations because they were sent into.
We did. We discussed the recommendations, and
They were put into your committee
However,
because
right.
they came out to where most of the recommendations were rules and which went into her committee. That's where I thought that it was sitting at.
we did, but they would like to meet with us. So I'm going to
Schedule a meeting.
schedule a meeting.
Well,
There's
I'm
some
with it.
follow-up that
I'm-
needs
okay.
to happen.
Hey, I'm always available.
If we agree with the recommendations, then there are follow-ups that we need to do to
Right.
make them happen. And that's probably,
Okay,
if I
that could be.
guess.
Well, I'm just saying it was already established that the recommendations that we did get will land in your
Again,
committee. So
this commission, they would like to meet with us,
I'm
and
down. Hey, whatever day, pick a day,
It's,
time. I'm there.
it'll be the 27th or that extra Monday. So I'll have to figure out what time is available. You're not going to meet for 2 hours, I hope, are you? That's insane. I'm so happy I'm not on your committee. Okay.
I ain't sent you that. I thought I sent it to you. Oh, you ain't looking your. Yeah, I jumped on that early.
Okay. Well, we'll figure out a day and we'll schedule a meeting.
I'm with it.
So with regard to the Charter Commission, we are supposed to suggest a certain number of people to be a part of that. Is there,
Hey, okay. Good evening. How you doing? What's up, Vic? What up, guy? How you doing, now, sir? You already know. Well, we know him. We all right.
I apologize.
Oh, you okay?
So we need to make suggestions for the other people who would be members of that commission. Does anyone have anybody in mind? Okay, just
Are you
think
on
about
the-
it. Yes.
What's our, I'm sorry.
I believe
I
I
got-
did get a recommendation, and then I can't remember if they said, never mind. That's where I'll have to check, I'm sorry.
Okay.
Madam.
Yes. It's okay. Madam Chair's fine.
I said she can't get
We all
it.
scared.
She can't even get it for the rest of the night.
Do, we have a deadline? I'm sorry, I haven't been out the house in the weeks because I've been
I
under the weather.
understand. So, actually, we do. We have to, the Charter Review Commission has to be completed with their meetings and recommendations within the 6 months. So that's January to June, so we need to kind of figure out who the other people are going to be, and then schedule our meetings and have those meetings and kind of flesh out what we, how we want to change the charter, if in fact we want to change the charter.
Okay. I have to see if they're still interested.
Okay.
Okay.
And I know the
You guys have a
mayor,
date, time, or set day of the week that your meetings will be on?
no, I would like to have a kind of a planning meeting with everyone who's a part of it, so that we can pick a day and a time that's good for everybody, so I can get maximum participation.
Okay.
And with regard to that, Ms. Zorb, would it be possible to have those meetings recorded by ICRC?
As long as they're scheduled ahead of time,
Okay.
I mean, obviously I don't know their availability, but when you get that meeting schedule established, I can certainly send it to them.
Okay, thank you.
So, just so we're clear on how, I'm sorry, Ms. Underwood. Just so we're clear on how many more members we need. So council has appointed one so far.
Right.
You need to account, so there's seven members.
I'm one, and council has appointed one, so that's
One.
two.
Two,
And the mayor.
that's two.
And it's
Three.
my understanding that there was
I've
someone
appointed
that you
one.
were
I've
appointing.
appointed
Okay.
one. Four. I've been in contact with one other person, but they haven't gotten back with me
Okay.
as of yet. So council needs to do what, two more?
Okay.
Sounds reasonable.
Are council members allowed to be on this?
We already have one.
Oh,
Just-
so
Yeah.
just her.
So, yeah.
Okay.
That's it.
I'm trying to remember, did it say a lawyer needed, the law director needed to be part of that?
The law director is supposed to be present, and if he doesn't, I will let you guys know that he wasn't there.
Ooh, you ought to see it on the video.
Yep,
Did you read that somewhere in the charter?
I did.
I think it does say that in the charter.
It does say that in the charter. Shall. Not may, shall.
Shall consist of seven, the mayor. I'm looking at it. The law director shall meet with the commission in an
Shall.
advisory capacity.
Shall.
But that doesn't mean he has to be at every meeting.
Shall.
Shall.
So shall.
Shall he show up to every
Shall
meeting?
in a legal term means, in legal terminology, means you
You don't
have
have to be there.
It is
yeah,
not.
It does.
It is
It
not
shall.
optional.
Yes, it's not.
Not may,
It's
shall.
not. Shall.
What?
Yeah.
We shall.
We shall see.
Oh no, that's true. That's how it worked.
That's the last sentence.
Okay.
That's how it worked.
Okay, any new business? I actually have a tiny bit of new business. Seems kind of petty, but I'd like to throw it out there. So the way that the room is organized is a little odd to me. So I just was thinking maybe we could organize it in a different way.
Please tell me we're going to stay around that TV that we just paid money.
I can't see the TV because it's facing my back. My back is to the TV. His back is to the TV. I would like to reorganize this in some kind of way such that we can all see the TV and something. So I don't know what that looks like. That's why I said I'm just throwing that out there. So can we, I understand, the audience chairs and the mayor and the administration. I get that. But,
We just want to change where we seating, maybe just shift it like that way so we're facing.
again, I'm just throwing it out there.
Okay. It makes sense.
Would you be okay if I reached out to our friends at ICRC and see if they have any recommendations? They're
Absolutely.
in this business.
Yep.
So maybe they, I don't know,
Yep. That sounds great.
they can do that.
Also, with regard
Sorry,
to,
Miss, may I
I'm
keep
sorry,
you
go
there
ahead.
for a second?
yes,
I want to make sure that I understand the request. So your request is so that council can see the screen.
yes.
Are there any other requirements that we're looking for?
Ms. Underwood,
Yes.
I would prefer that our backs not be to the door,
Okay.
Who's back? Someone's back's gonna be.
our backs.
Okay.
So it could be a reverse. Could be a reverse.
Absolutely not. I don't want my back to the door.
Well, what else you gonna get if you want to see this thing? If you
Well,
want to see
if
that
we
whole
are
thing?
sitting in that direction and,
Yeah, that's what I'm
then we
saying.
can, nobody's
Back is
back is
gonna-
to the door.
Yeah, everybody's gonna be to the door.
I do not want my back to the door.
Hey,
Unless we're all just along the wall. I
well,
don't know.
listen.
No.
Hey, listen.
I will send that to them and see what they can come up with.
Thank you very much.
You're very welcome.
There was something else. I can't remember now.
Uh-oh.
Oh. Does anybody else have any new? Oh, I remember what it was. The digital warehousing company, did we figure that out? Because I feel like we should,
I didn't see anything in the email saying that we did.
I know, I feel like we should just, we need to just make a decision and go with it, because that way it's done. And, because I go to other communities and, they click on the links and all of their links work and all of those documents are right there. I would like for ours to be like that as well, for as far back as we have those documents. That would be like really great. So, and I know that Mr. Hedger has sent us the names of several companies, and there wasn't one or another that he had recommended, but I really feel like we just need to just kind of move on it. Yes? No? Crickets?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So what do we need to do? Just put that on the agenda for a council meeting?
Sorry, I was gonna search for his emails. What I was gonna say is perhaps you could reach out to our law director and have legislation written so that we're prepared.
Okay.
But I was trying to figure out what we wanted to put in it. I was trying to find his email. Scanning quotes.
Okay.
Got it.
I don't think I have that.
So what does the legislation need to be? Just a, probably a, oh my goodness. Why am I not, I'm blanking on the word. Why? I'm just having a moment. Not an ordinance. It needs to be
Resolution?
resolution.
Well,
Right.
it does include money.
Oh, so ordinance.
Let him figure it out.
Okay. All right.
Sorry. That sounded flip. I didn't mean that to sound flip. Ms. Underwood, do you still have the email? Here's where I'm going with it. I would suggest, if you wanted to, pick one of these quotes, send that as an attachment to Mr. Dieters and say, please write legislation for us to get into a contract with one of these people.
Okay. Sounds good. Yep, we can do that. Okay.
I'm looking at that email. I know my place of employment, we use Iron Mountain, and we've had a lot of success with them. And I know
Okay.
that's one of the people that he got a quote from.
Okay.
I don't know, I don't have any knowledge of the other.
You forwarded that email to me. I think that was before
I
mine.
sure can.
So Iron Mountain, your company uses them and they, okay.
Yep.
Sounds good. Sounds good to me. I just want to start getting it done, and if we start working on it now and get it done, we can, it'll half the battle. Okay. Does anybody have anything else?
Thank you.
Okay, great. It is 6:29, and we will adjourn at this time. We'll take a couple of minute break, and then we'll start with public safety. Thank you. Y'all ready? And Ms. Chichester, again, I apologize. I will make sure I add you to the agenda from now on.
Oh, you sent out that
Are
one
we
too?
ready? Okay. Good evening, and welcome to the North College Hill City Council Public Safety Committee meeting. Did everyone receive a copy of the agenda?
Yes.
Okay, so I would like to start with police department updates. I see Chief Cheney has graced us with his presence. Thank you very much, sir.
You're welcome.
And we'll start with you. Thank you.
All right. Hopefully everybody, I sent out an attachment to all of council for 2024 stats. Hopefully you got it. Sorry it was late, but since the new year, I've literally only been here for like 3 days because of training and trying to burn vacation time. So I apologize for the lateness. So first off, I want to thank you guys for the support for 24. Obviously we had a rough year and we made it through it. And we are getting there. I'd like to thank Mayor Nichols for supporting us as well, especially with some funding that you all and her pushed towards our way to fix our roof and do some other repairs at the police department, which we are actually actively doing right now. We just, last 2 days, totally cleaned out our squad room where we do most of our reports, and it's empty and bare bones right now because we're in the process of putting up some drywall, new paint, new floor, new ceilings after we fix the roof. So once it's done, I'll invite you guys over. You can come and look at it. It's going to be really nice. We did, before I went on vacation, we replaced some, or actually when I was on vacation, we replaced some carpet in the lieutenant's and chief's office that had been there since the post office had graced that building. So we're talking like 25 to 30-year-old carpet that is now gone. So we're excited about that. As you'll see in the numbers, we had a very busy year compared to the year before. We had over 700 more calls for service than we did in 23, and that's basically still running minimum staffing for the majority of the year. We still have one shift currently that is not fully staffed, and the other 3 are fully staffed, but they weren't that way until literally November, October. We filled one, but one is still only with 2 people. So that is a lot of numbers for our people. 700 calls is a huge increase, and it's about 1,000 calls for service increase over 22. So I hate to say this, I don't think it's going to get any better. Miss Underwood, I don't know if you still practice at the courthouse, but you could attest that it's our legal system right now is not the benefit of communities. And then we have a new prosecutor that just was sworn in, and nobody knows what we're going to get there. So if she follows the path of some of our other cities in this nation, might as well just hold on to our hats.
That's okay. I can actually address that with you. She has some very competent people who have years of experience helping her
Let's
through
hope.
this transition. So
Just
I
some
know-
of her prior comments does not, I can tell you, doesn't bode well from what we look at in the
yeah,
police
it
world.
won't be,
So let's keep our
It-
fingers crossed because
it won't be that. It will not be that.
Because if we
Okay?
face that way, it's going to be, we're going to see a big increase.
It will
So
not be that.
we're keeping
I
our
know
fingers
the-
crossed.
I know the people who she has working for her.
Okay,
and
that's
they've
very
never-
good. So that's good to know.
Yeah.
As you can see, with 700 calls for service increase, everything else we increased as well. The only area that we were decreased a little bit was traffic citations, and we were only down 10 from the prior year. But taking into account 700 calls more for services, I give my guys and girls all the credit in the world. They've done a fantastic job this year. They just, I can't speak enough about what they've done.
Okay.
I mean, daily activities increased over 3,000, and daily activities are directed patrols, business checks, vacation checks, well-being checks, stuff like that. I mean, they did over 3,000 more than they did the year before. So our business checks, just breaking that down, I mean, we were up over 700 more business checks than we were the year before. Mutual aid calls, which is us assisting either Springfield Township, Colerain Township, or Mount Healthy, increased from 325 to 419 on top of what our guys are called to. So that's, and usually when we go to a mutual aid call like that, it's a serious call. It's not something that's just minimum. It's where, you know, they're requesting us for some assistance. So like I said, I can't thank my guys and girls enough. They did a fantastic job this year. So that's all I really have.
Wonderful. And with regard to your staffing, is there something that you need from us?
Right now, no. I thank you, though, for passing the budget. That the budget passing let us increase to 18 officers, with one of them being the neighborhood resource officer. So once we get some additional staffing in, we've got one gentleman who actually graduates Friday from OSP Academy that will be joining us. So we'll have him on the road, and then there's 3 other spots that we still have to fill. Obviously, 2 we're kind of waiting on because of situations you guys are aware of. So we'll be actively posting here shortly for open positions. I'd like to try to get some laterals because they're a lot easier to train and get out the door quicker. But if we have to go the route of the police academy, we just have to do that.
Does anyone else have any questions for Chief Cheney?
Madam Chair. Ed. Hey, Chief Cheney.
Yes.
Yeah, just a quick question.
Yes, sir.
Looking through this, it appears that we've got a lot of about 27 calls where you had to respond to something on Daily Road,
Yes, sir.
and there isn't a piece of Daily Road that runs through here. Is that just a matter of
No, so
mutual
we have
aid
the
calls?
North Creek Apartments on Daily are ours.
Oh,
Yeah, it's
that's on Daily.
it's on Daily Road and it's ours. It's really weird setup, but
Right. Yeah,
the
part
first
of it
50
is-
feet of the driveway is Springfield Township, and the apartment complex is ours. So,
Something new every day.
yes.
Similarly to the boundary kind of things, there's a nursing home behind Lake Nine out on Pippin. That's ours. So you have to go out Galbraith, down Pippin, and to hit it.
Yep, learned about that the other day in planning.
Madam
Yeah.
Chair,
Yes.
If Interim Chief Cheney could touch on the law that was just
Yes,
passed.
there's some news legislation that was just passed by the state regards to public records request. So we can now charge up to a max of $750 for public records requests
So,
with a minimum of $50, I believe it is.
Madam Chair,
That's for the
for
body
video.
worn
body worn
camera.
camera.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. We're gonna fix that.
It still needs to be redacted though, right?
Yeah.
We already have the software in place. All we have to do is any video that we send out to the public, we just hit the button and it redacts it automatically for us. We don't have to touch it. So
Okay, fair enough. Anything else?
Now, what is the reason? Now, what's the reasoning for charging for the body worn camera footage?
it's time consuming to get, very time consuming. And it depends on how many public records requests you can get for an incident. You can have up to 3 officers, 4 officers on an incident when you have to do each one. I mean, so it's allowed, the state is allowing us then to charge, I mean, because it's manpower hours is the biggest cost of it besides the time that it takes to do it.
It is tedious and time consuming.
Yeah. So luckily, we just got the software download. It was one of the upgrades we requested through our WatchGuard system. So it'll do it automatically, but there's certain things though that we have to go back through and so like a police officer will be redacted automatically.
Right.
They necessarily don't have to be redacted. So we have to go back through and unredact that. So it's time consuming.
Okay.
Madam Chair.
Yes.
So, I was paying attention to that legislation that got passed, and Chief Cheney, you say that it's time consuming, which it is very time consuming. You know, when my personal opinion is I believe that the cities, you know, pay for that time, but at the same time too, it's kind of weird, you know, because that information, you know, that video information, isn't it already go to public records after it's recorded?
What do you mean?
The information that's recorded on them body cams.
It is, okay, it is public record. The problem is that when police officers arrive at a scene, they ask you for your name, your address, your social security number, and other personal vital information. All of that has to be redacted out. What needs to stay in, though, is the police officer's interaction with you. So the software doesn't always understand that, though. And they have to make sure that they're including the things that are included and taking out the things that need to be taken out. And that's what he's talking about. So at the end of it all, obviously, you know, it's an email link to whomever the individual is requesting the record, unless they want it on a CD, which again would require them to have the software to burn it to a CD or an appropriate thumb drive. So the governor signed the law because there were individuals who were abusing the process. And, you know, I think that we should be reasonable with the amount we charge. However, I don't want an officer sitting at a desk for 12 hours working on body camera instead of sitting at the stop sign at Norman and Clovernook giving out tickets. I'm just saying.
Or warnings. or warnings.
No warnings. No warnings. No
Your
warnings.
warning is right now.
Right.
They're going to be sitting there.
Right. No warnings. We're past warnings or bets and Goodman. You know, tickets. Lots of tickets.
Directed patrol. I mean, whatever. It's
Right.
very time consuming.
Right.
So that'll be one of the things that when we hire the administrative assistant will be on their plate to do, but it'll still be time consuming for them. I mean,
for sure.
it's just not So we don't just do it just for public records. Every case that goes downtown, we
Right.
have to provide
you have to
body
provide
worn camera
discovery,
to
right.
the prosecutor's office, to the public defender's office.
That's the process, right?
For our mayor's court, we have
They
to
can't-
provide
You
it.
can't charge for that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I'm just saying.
Right,
So
well,
if you already
So-
gotta send it to court, why
Yeah,
can't you send it to,
The
to,
defendant.
to the defendant or the victim?
okay.
It goes to the public
It's-
defender's
It's not
office.
always a victim or a defendant who's requesting it. Sometimes it's just anybody can request
Yeah.
body camera. I've requested body camera
The
before.
news will request
So-
body camera if, like,
Just-
when we had the shots fired at the school events, the news request body camera footage from something like that. So
So it's not always people who are involved in the incident. Sometimes it's, individuals who are just interested.
Yeah, but the law was signed for the individuals that affect us too. So
Well, it
affects us
there's
too.
always somebody who messes it up for everybody else. That's how it goes. So talk to that one guy who requested 200 hours of body camera footage because he's being a busybody trying to figure out what his neighbor's up to. So. Thank you very much, Chief Cheney.
you're welcome.
So next, we have a fire department update, and I see Chief Plackey is over there. Thank you so much, sir, for coming today. What do you have for us?
Yeah, so just going to review stats here. I didn't get a chance to break them down far like run wise, but for the year 2024, we did 2,901 incidents, which is 51 short of last year.
Okay.
Pretty on target.
Maybe that.
224 runs were in December. So 220-ish is about the average, monthly average. We just extended job offers to 3 new full-time people, so hopefully they'll be starting in early February once all their paperwork and everything clears. Repairs to an ambulance have been made and completed, and it's back in service. Thank Mount Healthy for letting us borrow the ambulance that we sold them while ours was down. Training-wise, completed a few trainings. We did some peer support, suicide prevention training for first responders. In service on the new fire engine, which will hopefully be in service this month. And I'd like to thank council for passing the budget so that we could upgrade our cardiac monitors in both our ambulances. It's much needed. Thank you very much. And I forgot to put it on the report I sent out, but so last month we had the ISO, or the Insurance Services Office, come in and do an evaluation of the fire department. They do a grading scale on 1 to 10, 10 being the worst, 1 being the best you can get. They take into certain, you're awarded points for certain things, like a water supply system for the city, which we got maxed out because we use Cincinnati Waterworks. But then there's also like response times, mutual aid characteristics, capabilities of our own fire department. I'm happy to say that we went from a 3 to a 2. So we are at the top tier, so to speak. Yeah, I mean, I'm a,
Congratulations.
yeah, thank you. I'm gonna look and see what it takes to get to tier 1, but yeah, that's it's huge for this department to be at class 2. That
May I
that's
ask how many criteria they evaluate? Do you know roughly?
I would say that I didn't count them, but there's probably, I think there's about eight or so criteria that they take into effect. I mean, it went into depth. I mean, like testing records on our hose, like, we test every year, training records, just a bunch of different things that they compile into their system and give us a grade. So, yeah,
Congratulations.
yeah, thank you.
Yeah, it's good.
And that's about all the update I have for the fire department right now.
Okay. Does anybody have any questions for Chief Plackey?
No, it's awesome. Congratulations.
You don't always toot your own horn about grants that you guys have received. Have you received any grants lately?
Not lately. No, I'm working on finishing up, keeping records for the ARPA stuff where we have to file that stuff. I think we have another year of filing with them for the money for the 2.5 positions that we were awarded.
Okay,
That's it.
okay. Thank you very much, Chief Plackey.
Thank you.
So right now, we don't have a Public Works Director currently. However, I would like to kind of give a shout out to our public workers, our Public Works staff who worked very hard during the snowstorm. I know it was just coming down so fast that it was very difficult for them to keep up. But what I did learn, because a little birdie told me, was that they did not even go home. They camped out at the
Absolutely.
Public Works
Absolutely.
building and slept there so that they can just get right back out there and get right back to it, which is amazing. So that was, I just want to say thank you so much for that, and thank you for, the plow coming down my, dead end street, so that I could get, out of the street. So I think, comparatively speaking, I've driven, as I'm driving through the city, there are still streets that I see that are just, you don't want to drive on. So, and most of our streets are
Not
completely
ours.
clear. Huh?
Not ours.
Not ours.
That.
Not
city.
right,
The other-
outside
the
of,
other city.
outside of the North College Hill, right. Our streets are pretty clear. So I am truly, truly, truly grateful for that. Didn't realize that you guys were camping out down there. I will make sure that I contribute to the hot chocolate fund next time, for sure. So, did anybody else have any questions or anything about Public Works or?
No, I would just like, I'm sorry, Madam Chair. I would like to just say, I live on a no out, you guys can't hear me? I like to say I live on a no outlet street as well, and I had no problems. They came down a couple of times on our street, and we don't get much traffic, so, but my street was pretty clear. I had no trouble getting in or out. Awesome job.
Mayor, do you have any updates about, is there a search for a new director or?
There is actually a search for a new director. It is posted. I know we have had a couple of people apply. We've actually met with one person who may or may not be interested. They need to apply as well. So yes, we've posted, and prayerfully we'll get the right person in there.
Okay. All right.
I would too also like to add, with Public Works, considering the amount of snow, and they were even after the fact, after, I believe it was Thursday morning, I was driving around, I saw them around 9:30, still trying to figure out ways to get the snow from around the parked cars that had not moved, because we did a level 3 and cars still were on the street. So that made it even a little bit more difficult for them to remove some of the snow or push it, but they were even still on Thursday trying to figure out how can we get this snow so that people who like to park on the street can park on the street.
That's awesome.
Madam Chair.
Yes.
So, Mayor Nichols made a statement about that. So I think we need to take some initiative to bring some of our residents up to par as far as the levels of emergency calls, because folks don't know, even though it was at a level 3, a lot of people don't know what that means other than to stay off the road. They might not know that they have to move their car off the street or so. So.
Well, my only issue with that is that not every house has a driveway, and even the people who have driveways, I'm just going to talk about my neighbor, and forgive me because I don't think anybody knows who my neighbor is, but her car was stuck in her driveway until my wonderful husband went over and dug her out so that she could get out of the driveway. So, I could see how people weren't, some people it was so much snow, you couldn't get in your driveway sometimes. or you might get stuck, and so that's why they were on the street. So I get it. I get what you're saying, but if you don't have a driveway, where do you go? Where do you put your car?
Well, I'm just saying the thing is that if we have a level 3, if it's issued a level 3 for a reason, and inside that issue, it's required for us to move these vehicles off the street because they.
Okay, well,
Madam Chair, what do
I
you
also want to make sure
Madam Chair.
we are, our community has elderly people, we have working families here. We are not going to, I'm not going to suggest to anybody to tow somebody's car because they don't have the ability to go and park it somewhere else.
Agreed.
I could not go and park my car in a parking lot and then make my way to my house. That is impossible, or would be impossible for me. So
Madam Chair.
I'm just mindful of that. Yes, Ms. Chichester.
Madam Chair.
Mr. Wilson, what do you suggest for people who don't
Well-
have driveways or?
Well, I've always known Cincinnati to move the vehicle to they don't tow the vehicle away, they just tow it out of that area to a street where they can get to the vehicle and it's out of the way and it follows the current code. I'm just saying, I mean, we at some point you got to understand that they're issuing that level 3 for a reason. Just like Ms. Underwood said, we do have elderly, we do have people that is disabled. So that level was issued for a reason. So that makes it easier for EMS to get down them streets. They have to have a way to get down them streets. And if them cars are in the way, causing them a delay or a problem, like I said, I watched the plow myself come down my street. You know what I'm saying? The plow can't even get it down because he got cars in the way.
Madam Chair.
Madam Chair,
Madam Chair.
I'd like to point out that the
Ms.
level
Zorb.
3 snow emergency is for certain zones. A level 3 does not mean residential streets. Am I wrong?
no, some of the residential streets are considered, but that they're main thoroughfares through our city. So if we issue a snow emergency level 3,
It's only certain streets.
for us, it's Betts Avenue, Bising, Galbraith, Goodman, Leboido, and Savannah. That's it. The main thoroughfares through the city
Would you
are
care to go down
supposed to
that-
be
I'm sorry, can you go down that list one more time? I
Yes.
heard Betts, Savannah.
Betts, Bising, Galbraith Road, Goodman, Leboido, and Savannah.
Thank you.
So, and we put that out on January 5th to let this resident on our Facebook page to let the residents know if the level 3 were to come, that they, if at all possible, were to move their cars on the streets.
Okay.
We understand some people just can't. I mean, you may not even be in town.
Right.
So we try not to tell them, and we do the best. We try to go around asking, if we can, but sometimes you get a car that doesn't even belong to our city,
Right.
and someone's parked there. So we have no idea which residents to check. So we try our best to go around and let the residents know who are on those routes, hey, if you can. But with the amount of snow that we received, almost 13 inches, record breaking, where were you going to park?
Right.
Because all the other streets were snowed in too.
Absolutely.
So it was a tough situation for everybody, but
Madam Chair,
Yes.
did you go?
I have one more thing I'd like to add.
And then I'll go after her.
So there are also houses in North College Hill that their garages run through an alley behind them. Those alleys are like very low on the
Impassable.
totem pole
Yep.
to get plowed. So, even if they are parked in their garage, now they can't get out.
Right.
Now they're stuck. I pushed a friend of mine out of the alley. So there's a lot of give and take that has to happen. There's no black and white rule that says everyone can't park on the street.
Right.
You just can't.
Yep.
Not in our city.
Ms. Gaston.
I just wanted to say that you had mentioned, and Mayor Nichols did as well, that the Public Works employees stayed overnight. There was one Public Works employee who worked through his birthday, and I just wanted to publicly come out and say, again, I appreciate them. My kids took a field trip, and we went into the building. It's cold. It's not warm like this building. So I'm even taking into consideration, you guys stayed there overnight with no heat. You didn't have your family. It's snowing. Your cars were slipping and sliding. So we appreciate the work that they did because they could have called off. So once again, to the Public Works employees, I appreciate you. My street, Baywood, looks amazing. Thank you.
Here, here.
So it is 7:01, and we all know that I try to be mindful of everybody's time. I know we didn't do really old business, new business, or action items, but if all minds are clear, I am going to adjourn our meeting at 7:01 p.m. Thank you very much.
Start the Community and Recreation Development meeting.
Did you send it to me? Pardon me, I'm sorry. Ms. Chichester, did you send it to me? Did you ask me to print something?
Yes, I sent it to everyone. I was saying I didn't know if it was printed before we started that meeting. Because there are so many attachments to it. Sorry, Mr. Wilson.
Oh, you okay?
Oh, no, I didn't print mine. Y'all need copies, is that what you're
No,
asking?
that's why I was saying this is.
I think the
very
audience
short.
would like a copy.
Yeah, this is very, very short. So,
Sorry, does everyone need one?
Yes, please.
Sorry.
what's she saying? Oh, yeah, Ms. Chichester, I got her. All right, ladies and gentlemen. So, the Recreation Director is not here today for the report. I hadn't seen one in the email. She didn't send me out one, so there won't be a recreational report today. And from there, I'm going to adjourn the meeting. We will be having a special meeting held January 27th at 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. And there we will discuss the agenda. This meeting is adjourned.
Oh, wait,
I'm
sorry.
sorry.
I was in the middle. Mr. Chair.
Yes.
So when you announce a special meeting,
Mm-hmm.
you have to have more details in what it's going to be. You can't just say the agenda.
Okay.
Like when you call a special meeting, it has to be for a special and specific purpose.
Yes, ma'am. So I called their special meeting for January the 27th at 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. to discuss the fireworks show, the party in the park, the NCH Sports League, movies in the park. And I would like to meet with the Recreation Commission to hear their ideals and what they have for North College Hill. Also, we will be inviting the NCH school. So I'm hoping to get the AD back and to get Mr. Blaylock in the building for that meeting also. So and that will just be able, we'll discuss some of the things that we had upcoming for this calendar year.
My only point in bringing that up
Oh,
is
it's okay.
when you send out your special meeting
Yes, ma'am.
notice, your items have to be specific as
Okay.
to what you want to talk about. That's all I was.
I understand. I apologize. I actually sent it out to Hedger and I didn't put it on the agenda.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So Mr. Hedger has the whole list of what I wanted
Okay.
to talk about. So
Good.
I apologize.
Fair.
Yes, yes,
Also,
ma'am.
to add to Ms. Zorb's point, I'm not sure if I may have missed it. Just be sure that your members can meet that particular day
Yes, ma'am.
in that time.
Yes, ma'am. All right. Thank you. Anybody else has any more questions for me? Okay, then. With that being said, I'm going to adjourn this meeting at 7:09.
All righty, let's start our Budget and Finance Committee meeting for Monday, January 13th. Everyone has the agenda and all these supporting documents.
Yes, ma'am.
Awesome. Does anybody need anything? Everybody got it? Okay. Well, up first on the agenda is Interim Chief Plackey. He's going to discuss the 2025 fire levy. Mr. Plackey, go ahead and get started. You guys have the documentations in your packets to follow along.
Okay, so I just want to say thanks for, the city of North College Hill and City Council for getting us, helping us get to this point. We've done a lot of great things over the last 5 years. So starting off with the Fire Task Force that was created and conducted in 2020, explored the options of increasing staffing, going from a all part-time system to having career personnel, because the part-time system is kind of dying away with more demand. So with the levy proposed a number of things. So continuing funding experienced and well-trained advanced life support personnel, paramedics, and fire and rescue personnel, hiring additional full-time and part-time, sprinkled in there, to allow for additional staffing each day to meet the increased need of the city. Also allow for capital investments, improvements to, which includes replacing aging apparatus, which we just took delivery of but within the last few months took delivery of a new fire engine, which will be going into service this month. And that replaces a 1994, it's just way out of date fire engine that, I don't even think it'll move right now. But so we're very fortunate for that. Also, the ability to staff 2 ALS, Advanced Life Support ambulances, and also reducing the time that the city left, that we left uncovered if we had units making runs and making transports. And also, it allowed us to reduce reliance on mutual aid, offering fast response times and more efficient emergency scene operations for citizens in North College Hill and anybody else that wanted any visitors. So since passing the levy, we have met each of these goals. We increased the staffing from 4 part-time people to 4 full-time plus, 4 full-time plus 1 or 2 part-time people, depending on the day. We increased the number of full-time firefighters to 13. We also, again, took delivery of a new fire engine, also replaced an ambulance. All these things are great things for the city. We are advancing the fire department light years from what we had. Also upgraded the accommodations of the fire station or firehouse. Originally, we only had 4 bunk rooms, so we had to make some room. So we did some renovations, and now we have 6. And also making sure that we remain competitive with compensation, and that remains within market value for police and fire, fire and EMS services. With the passing of this levy, we reduced our draw on the general fund by 100% or 100,000 automatically. And now we're hoping to continue that with this levy renewal. No increase, just a renewal. So what we already have going currently will be what's going on the ballot or proposed to go on the ballot in November of this year. So that in a nutshell is what we're going after. If you got any questions, I'd be happy to try to answer them.
Council, does anyone have any questions for Chief Plackey? Any comments on the report?
I'm sorry.
Nope, go
Madam
ahead.
Chair. I thought the one from 21 was a 5-year levy. It was only, so shouldn't that go up wouldn't that go up in 26 instead of 25? Or it is additional?
No, it was voted on in 21, And then,
Voted on, I'm sorry, Madam Chair.
Yeah, I was gonna clear that up too.
Go ahead.
no, go ahead. You got it?
You're absolute, you
Yeah.
got it, you got
Yeah,
it.
voted on 21, so then it takes time for that money to kind of generate and start feeding into the fire department levy. So yes, it's a 5 year. So like this, we're cut, like 25 will be, at the end of 25, it will be done.
Okay.
And so you
Is-
renew it for 26.
Okay.
And actually, it's voted on in 21, implemented in 22, voted on in 25, implemented in 26.
But that's still 4 years instead of 5, but okay.
It's 4 years, not 5.
Does anyone else have anything?
Madam Chair,
Yes, ma'am.
Chief Plackey, do you foresee any other needs? I know it's kind of hard to kind of look in the future. Any other needs?
So over the next cycle of the levy, so yeah, so we're trying to get on a replacement cycle for the ambulances. Those are always making runs. They're so having those on a replacement cycle, that would be a need. Also possibly looking at the or possibility of construction of a new firehouse or fire station with the capital improvements afforded by the levy.
Madam Chair.
Just a second. It does say the task force is a 5-year replacement fire levy, Ms. Dukestein.
This is, I'm sorry,
Is
this
that
is the
not
year.
correct on this paper, or?
That
That's
means
for
it
21.
extends the end of 2025. 2025 is the end, and
Yes.
December 31st, 2025, the current levy would end.
Right. And then we vote to renew in November for 2026. So, I'm sorry, we were having like sidebar, so we were just clearing that up.
I
Yeah.
was just going to clarify the 5-year.
Okay.
Still doesn't make sense, actually, though, because if we voted on it in 21, it would be through the end of 21, implemented in 22.
Maybe
We
they
may have
started
voted on it in 20, then maybe implemented in 21 and we voted on it in 20.
I think you're right.
I think it does say that. It
Yes.
conducted in 2020 in the mayor's, at the mayor's directive.
Well,
My apologies, Mr. Davis.
so you have to look it up.
Oh, sorry, Mr. Davis, did you have another question, or?
No, he was saying it's 5 years.
Okay. Before he moves on, does anyone have anything else on this? All right. All right.
Sorry,
Go ahead.
I'm delayed. I was trying to look up on the county auditor's website to see when it, but my question would be, do you need anything from us to help move this renewal for, other than obviously the legislation part?
Just your support, and yeah, we gotta get the ball rolling on this, and yeah.
So I know there's multiple steps involved in getting a levy. So are we working towards getting the first batch of legislation?
Yes,
Okay.
I put a note out to Bill this week. For he's supposed to have the first part that it will even be on the ballot. It's probably past the time for us to put it on the ballot for spring, which is okay. It's traditionally been in the on the November ballot, and then after we pass that piece of legislation, then there's another piece of legislation for the renewal, like the specifics of what will be on the ballot. So both are in the works, and Chief Plackey and I have talked about what it looks like, how the cost, and how we need to budget that, and some campaigning as we go forward for that. So, yes.
Does anyone have any other questions about the levy? Y'all are quiet today. All right. Do you have anything else, Chief Lackey?
No, just look forward to having additional meetings with city council and whoever else is here, and yeah, looking forward to get this going.
Thank you, sir.
All right, thank you.
All righty, moving right along. That didn't take much time. We're going to do the monthly close report for November, and that would be Ms. Anderson.
Good evening, everyone. I don't know how much time you've had to look over the reports. But I'm here to present you with the November bank reconciliation alongside with the finance software reconciliation. So you will have included in your packet a copy of the bank statement. I believe it's
That might be the last one.
I believe it's the last page. Here. So the ending balance for November 30th, 2024, as you can see, was $8,765,489.09. That's real time. That is what we, as of the end of November, held within the bank. We had 79 checks, 49 withdrawals, and 49 deposits. And then also there was an interest payment of a little over $2,000. And so when you compare that to the finance software, the finance software actually has an elevated beginning balance. And as you know, with the end of the year, we have what's called the cleanup ordinance and the Hinkle report, which will shore up some of those balances, but it's also reflected on the bank statement, the bank reconciliation statement, where you see the receipt differences and the expense differences. There is also a copy of all the checks that were written for the month of November, totaling $762,984. And on the bank reconciliation, you will notice that there is an adjusted balance that is equal to the bank. And once those receipt differences and expense differences are reconciled in the software, the balances are the same. I do just wanted you to keep in mind that the bank is the real-time money, and the software is a guide. And so if you have any questions.
Madam Chair?
Yes, ma'am.
Ms. Anderson, so those differences, those represent like bills or payments that we haven't received yet, but we know that they normally come in, or what exactly, is that what that is?
So the differences that you see are outstanding, or some of our encumbrances. So you'll see on the report, which is in blue, step number 2, we have actual expenses, and then we have what's encumbered. So actual expenses are what has been paid, and what's encumbered is what is yet to be paid, or it's in transition to be paid. And again, that is just the software, but the bank is not is where you'll realize the actual dollar amount that we have in the bank. And in the bank, you see that if you added the checks and the withdrawals together, that would equal what is in transit, what I was able to clear in the finance software, and the deposits are what we received. And we do still have some outstanding receipts.
Madam Chair.
Yes, Mr.
So what you should be looking for is looking for the balances, the fact that we're balancing each month. And then if we're not balancing, why is it that we're not balancing? And looking for an explanation as to why we wouldn't balance. And so when you see the software and the actual money lining up, that's what we're looking for.
Absolutely.
Because I know they're different documents that when we provided before, but we're trying to make it more and more transparent. We did take the bank information off for those that, deposit, because it's loaded with like checks, banks, their account numbers and things like that. But you do get to see real time what's in the bank as of the close of day in November, and then what our software says. So we will continue to trail that forward so that it becomes easier and easier to reconcile throughout the year and to do those quarterly cleanups. And then hopefully by the end of 2025, we will have some really, really crystal clear information to present. So our budgeting for 2026 will be much easier,
Much smoother.
much smoother.
Thank you, Ms. Dustin. Does anyone on council have any questions, comments, concerns? All right. Thank you, Ms. Anderson. All right. Let's move on to the Rumpke Waste Management.
And I'll take care of that. So you have a detailed expense transaction by fund, and then it says year 2024, month 01 through year 2024, 11. But you see all of the blanket Rumpke first half. These are deposits. This is revenue. So one of the tasks that we had to do here, I can show you. I don't know if you need it. You guys got it? It has 3 pages to it. And so if you want to do the math yourself, this was one of the things that we had at the end of the year that we didn't get on the agenda for the last special meeting. So I just wanted to make sure that we covered it because I promised that we would. And so to help kind of guide you through, if you so choose to look through this document, you can easily highlight. It says, like for this first one, it says $54,458.25. And so if you were comparing it to what we're collecting, those amounts on the fund balance sheet from 2024-01 to 2011. Now, December is not on there, but it still far exceeds what we are needing to collect. And so the problem in the past had been that we had not been collecting enough, and the city was offsetting that garbage for the citizens. And we want to make sure that we are charging through Cincinnati Greater Waterworks enough for the citizens to wash what we're being charged by Rumpke. So this was just an explanation of our contract models, that if you have any questions or concerns. So what I did, just to make it easy for myself, is I went and highlighted it all, I added it up, and then if you compare it to this other sheet, and it's one of one, it tells you The waste collection even has, the incentive down here, which is $7,800, and there was some question on the budget about that and why. So how this as incentive is received versus how what we pay up front, and that's when I was kind of telling you, like, it comes in one line item, it goes out in another, but you'll be able to compare those. So this is the explanation of that. One is what we pay out, one is what we receive, and you can see that one is to the tune of $939,782.45, and the other one is $719,621.26. And so we went through great lengths to make sure that as we move forward, we are never in a position where we're paying for our citizens' garbage. And it's not that we don't want to, but we don't need to. So.
Thank you, Mr. Does anyone have any questions, comments, concerns on the Rumpke Waste Management?
And transparently, it probably seemed a bit more relevant at the end of the year when we were looking at this, but I promised that I would circle back to it, so I kept it on. I asked Ms. Chichester to keep it on the agenda.
Yes, we did. All righty. We're making good time, you guys. All right, if no one has anything to say on that, we'll move on to the next agenda item, which is the update for remediating the 1500 building.
And I just wanted to put out there that based on the encumberment of the funds, we definitely, as I said, we need to remediate the mold and asbestos for that building. The longer we wait, the more we're experiencing damage and dilapidation with the building. And so we need to get those things remediated, whether or not we repair the building or not. So if you see activity over there, it's because we're starting to, vet that so that we can get this done. And I just wanted to give that update.
And again, for clarification, no matter what we decide to do with the building, that part has to be done.
Yep.
Anyone have any questions, comments, or concerns on that
Madam
update?
Chair.
Yes, Ms. Thorpe?
So I seem to recall that we're using CDBG funds to do that, right?
No. So once we talked to CDBG, they actually said that we can keep the money on our original project. So we're not doing that. We encumbered, and that was a part of the list of the amount of money that we encumbered on that last piece of legislation at the end of the year on the 16th. We used ARPA funds.
So we're using ARPA funds.
Yes. And $55,000 wouldn't be enough, but it is enough. And so we have another meeting with CDBG, but we're probably just going to keep it on the original project.
So do we have enough ARPA funds to cover it?
We don't have enough ARPA funds to cover if we decide to.
For the remediation?
Yes, we do have enough for the remediation. Yes. And then we will have to give an update in March as to where we are in that process. So we need to get moving on it. We encumbered the funds, but March is an update to ARPA about, hey, what are you doing? Have you began working on this? So now we've pushed it out as long as we can, deliberating over how we would spend it and what we would spend it on. And so when I was assessing and making a decision about how the ARPA funds would be encumbered, it was on our necessities. What do we absolutely have to do? And I felt like that was the best way to utilize the resources.
Anyone have any questions, comments, and concerns on the 1500 building?
I'm sorry, Madam Chair, can I back us up a quick second to the Rumpke Waste Management? So I know those amounts need to be adjusted. What are we doing to make those changes? What's the action plan to move forward to fix that?
We already adjusted them. We created an addendum to the original contract, and we sent it to Rumpke, and it has also been sent to Greater Cincinnati Waterworks. And the addendum didn't need to come before you all. It just was something that we were able to sign and work out in order to make sure that we were getting what we needed. Because it was never an original agreement from the original legislation that we would pay for it. That was an error.
And we corrected that.
Yes.
Thank
But we corrected it years, like that was before me. We're just
Okay.
staying in tandem and making sure as they go up, we go up.
Okay.
So every year it needs an evaluation and we need to compare the numbers. We need to make sure. So what you're looking at is, remember, that's 2024. In 2025, we'll show you again, this is what we were charged, this is what we received, and the amount that we received should always be more than what we were charged.
Absolutely. Did you need to go back to anything else, Ms. Thorpe? Or you got it?
No, that was it. Thank you.
You got your notes? Oh, okay.
Caught up.
All right.
Madam Chair,
Yes, Ms. Alexander?
I have a question, on the update for mediation. Where do we go now? I mean, I just feel like we've been having a lot of conversation. What's the move?
Well, step
I
one.
feel like it's time well, it's been time to
Yes.
move.
So we're at step one right now with the removing, so that's what we're doing right now. Once we,
We're doing it now.
we're doing it now.
We're doing the
Okay.
remediation.
We're doing
All
the,
right, not
Yes.
like getting an estimate, we're doing it.
no matter what we do, we have to do this step. So
Yeah.
we're taking care of this, because the longer we wait, the more. So we're gonna take care of this step first. And hopefully.
Yeah,
we
that's
as
what
a
I'm asking.
whole-
So we got something in the mix.
We got something
where
moving.
we're doing it.
When I
doing
said
it.
we got something moving,
We're
we're
doing it.
Mm-hmm.
moving.
Yeah,
we're remediating.
yeah.
Yes, we're doing
Yeah.
first, we need to, no matter what we do, we have to do this step. The longer we wait on this, the
I'm
more
not
price.
disputing that, but you're saying
Correct.
we're moving and
Meaning
Yeah.
we're at least doing something instead of it's just sitting and not making progress.
Like we got
But I
somebody
think she
coming to
wants to know
take
what
the
we're
molds.
doing. Right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like
So-
That's the
somebody's
part.
like
so we need to
coming
have
to take the
bids to
mold.
go get the mold out,
So
right?
the other thing that I wanted to remind you of, I'm sorry, Madam Chair.
No, go ahead, Ms. Sixteen.
So as we go forward and they do the remediation part of it, there are always surprises. So we're making sure that as we go through this remediation and mold removal, that we are assessing on a continuum that this is the right, or that remodeling the building is the right next step. So, I'm not saying that it isn't, but that I want to give you that assurance as we go forward. But for right now, where we're at is mold removal and remediation. And so, you should start seeing some movement.
Yeah, that's what I'm
So-
saying.
Yeah,
I'm not
that's-
talking
Don't have
about
a
the
yeah.
remodeling. I'm talking about we got somebody
Progress.
in there with a mask on, about to
Right.
do whatever they need to do to get. I don't know what you do, but getting the mold.
Madam Chair,
Yes, Mr. Wilson.
you done?
Well, I just wanted clarification that
So
we're
right
just
there-
not talking about it. Somebody's
I want to know who it is.
got something set up to do it.
So we have
No
bids.
one's there yet. No one's there yet.
Do we have bids?
We're getting there. We're getting to that point.
I'm going to ask this for the 15th time. Do we have bids?
I didn't hear you say that 15 times, but
I
Four.
didn't
Only
say
heard
Ms.
five.
I'm sorry. So, I think their question is, do we actually have someone hired to go in to do it?
we do
Or
not,
do
we
we-
do have bids.
Yes, so yes, we do have people,
Who are interested in helping us
correct.
Yes.
Thank you. Is that,
help themselves as well.
does that answer?
I don't
Ms.
know
Thorpe?
what that means.
Madam
Do we
Chair.
have people that are interested in helping us?
No, I also
I said
answered.
that, but that means we have people who we've gotten bids from who are interested in the project.
Yes.
Madam Chair.
Yes, Ms.
I think Mr. Wilson was next.
I'm sorry. Yes, Mr. Wilson, I did
Hey,
forget.
listen, it's as long as you get
Excuse
out.
me.
So, what I wanted to do was just bring some clarification to what was being said. As far as the 1500 building, a motion was made I believe Ms. Dukestein followed up on that motion, got things in order, and I believe we had some bids that were sent to us. So, and I think that's where we at as far as the process of moving forward from there. No one's in the building yet, taking anything out yet. So we're still in the process of finding someone to do the work.
Madam
This
Chair,
is the motion. I'm sorry. Who
No.
said that?
that was me.
Go ahead.
So I hear what Mr. Wilson is saying. So my question is, when are we going to know who is selected and when is that start date? Is that going to be?
We don't have
This
that
quarter?
information. We
Right.
don't have all of that information as of yet. We have to clean it out and get things out of there. We still have property of our own that is there, so it's steps. It can't just be going in and remediating right away. We have to actually have a clean out of the building. We still have paperwork there. There are desks there. There is equipment that needs to be, the historical society still has items there, so we've got to figure out maybe a storage situation or a bunker, which you will probably also see come out of the ARPA funds. But all of that is a part of and connected to, those won't be big, huge costs, but there will be costs along the way that we will spend in order to make sure that we can do the remediation properly. They can't remediate with those things in the building, so we first have to address cleaning up and all of those things. We will be starting. Some of that is, solidifying how we will store things that are salvageable, things that are not, getting a container to get rid of things, how people go in there, all of that.
So Madam Chair,
I'm
I'm sorry.
So, Ms. Dukestein, this is a result of the motion that Mr. Wilson made to the previous administration.
It's that motion, and then it's also the encumberment of being able to spend the money towards that.
Okay. So I just wanted to make sure everyone understood why she was doing what she was doing. It was the motion that was made back in October?
Yeah, I think it was October.
Yes. So this is the result of that. I'm sorry. Ms.
It's
Gadsden.
both
No, it's
together, but I want to keep in mind, because one gave permission to look into it and to get it up. The other one gave permission to start using resources, use specific ARPA resources to do it.
So what is a realistic timeline for getting everything out of the building? Because I know citizens are really eager to know what we're going to do with it. Are we looking at summer, fall, spring?
I'm hopeful that it's before then. We have to give an update by March, but the weather has put a halt in how we proceed. So I would like to say roughly March is you will see some concrete movement. However, it really depends on our weather, how cold it is, and all of that. It's wintertime, so can't work in subarctic temperatures, especially when the climate is outside and, things are frozen, things are dripping.
So I also wanted to make a comment that we understand that the community wants to have an input, and so we're also looking at the option of having a town hall so that residents can come and express their opinion and give their input so they're heard and we all can make the best decision together as a community.
That's awesome. Thank
So-
you.
So it's not just we're doing this, this is, we understand, we hear you, we hear your concerns. So we're gonna take everyone's thoughts into consideration. And I think we said, Ms. Underwood, we're meeting with the Planning Commission and her committee as well. Did we set a date for that yet? Okay, so there's a lot of things that are happening. So there's a lot of things that need to happen to get the ball rolling. But this is exciting because to me, this is like step one. You clean out the room before you decorate, paint, put in the new carpet or anything else. So we're just doing the cleanup part right now.
And I would like to, Madam Chair, if I could.
Yes, ma'am.
As financial opportunities present themselves, Ms. Anderson and I will look into those, but there is lots of funding out there that might help us with that. And yep, that's it. So we're doing a lot of things from a lot of different angles so that people can have a clear pathway forward.
Does anybody else have any comments on the 1500? Speak now.
Oh, well, Madam Chair.
Yes, Mr. Wilson. Excuse me.
Do we have any clue when we gonna start?
We can't even get anyone in there to get them.
Right now,
No, the main thing, I believe she just said the main thing was getting the stuff that's salvageable out of there. Do we have any clue or when we'll start that process?
not at this moment because of the frigid temperatures
Okay.
and the weather. But as soon as we can put a date on the calendar for the weather, we'll start some cleanup and getting the salvageable things out of there. And we need to look into storage. I would like to also say that in your decision making with the remediation, once we get past the cleanup, there's only so long you can leave a building vacant without occupancy, and then our insurance will go through the roof. That is actually like a payment as if we had redoing the building. So you have to look at what you're going to be left with if you decide not to renovate the building as well. And I can bring those numbers to you. Right now, Public Works is tied to that building. So we have some occupancy. But if we choose to go in a different direction, you have to look at what those numbers would look like until you decide to do something else. We would carry the weight of that burden when we could,
Just fix the building.
if that's what you choose. But you have to look at everything that is encompassed if you decide one way or the other.
Madam Chair.
And I can continue to bring those numbers to you all so you can make a decision that's evidence practice based.
Ms. Thorpe?
Ms. Dukestein, I guess I'm confused why the weather is a factor. What is there no heat in the building?
I don't know if there's heat in the building, but as I've called around to try to get cleanup services, that has been a delay.
I'm not sure if
Confusing
the
to me.
HVAC works on the other side. I believe it still works on the administrative side, but I'm not sure that it's still operable on the gymnasium side.
And there's
I
stuff
do know
all
there's-
throughout it.
There's electricity over there. There was. But as far as the HVAC system, when they fixed it, I don't believe they fixed it on that side, if I recall correctly.
I thought that was just the air conditioning.
That's the
Not the
HVAC
heat.
system.
No, there's a
I
separate
feel
air
like
conditioner.
one time something went out and they had to, because I remember the guys going up into the, I don't know, the little breaker area that's up in the ceiling, and they had to call somebody. That
I
was
know
the
that the air conditioning went out.
was the
That's why
air.
we had
That was
that's
the
why we
air.
went
We were
in-
around the
to the blind
corner.
home. Yeah. It wasn't the heat, it was just air. That's, anyhow.
But either way, they sometimes tend to affect one another, so.
Does anybody have anything else that we could move on to old business? Does anybody have any old business? I don't. New business. Okay.
I have a old business. Go ahead. I don't know if it's new or old. I have a question. Not that I don't welcome your presence, Mr. Davis, but I didn't know that you were on this committee.
I'm not.
Okay.
I think I had told everyone they're welcome to come, just so that everybody's involved and included.
No judgment. I'm just going to put you on here on the minutes as a guest.
Okay.
Fair?
Yeah, because that's why
Okay.
that's why I ain't doing a whole lot of speaking or anything. 'Cause-
That's all. Thank you.
Madam Chair?
Yes.
I do have a question. It's old business, literally. Is there an update on the generator for looking to see if there was a generator? Because I remember we talked about that in the past. I just was wondering.
I will tell you that just through the holidays, we kind of put a pause on that. I meet with Chief Cheney tomorrow, who's going to kind of help facilitate that because he was already looking into it, I believe. So I'll double check with him and then we'll go forward from there. But yes, when we had the last power outage and we realized that we needed ASAP, and I want to just say we do have a generator. It's just too powerful for this building, and then it's not powerful enough for the other building. So it's not useful to us. And so how we ended up getting in that circumstance is because it was for the other building. And so if we were to use it for that building, it might be useful for this building, not so much. And then it can't be used for the other building. I know the fire department is looking out their own. So,
Okay,
I
thank
think
you.
they did that last time. They were looking at different ones. They had some. But I think we put a pause on it because
and another thing that halted it is that it wasn't built in our budget last year, and there was a stop date at which we had to stop spending, and that date was December the 11th. So anything after that, we had to wait because we need to be able to shore up our books. So we're just now getting back into a point where we can start like opening back up the spending,
Okay.
especially for large purchases.
Cool beans. That makes sense. Thank you.
Thank you.
for bringing that back to our attention. I'll put it back on there. All right. New business. That was old business. Ms. Zorb, did you have any? I thought I heard you say something before.
No, I was
Okay.
just curious about Mr. Davis.
I think I said back prior before that everyone was welcome to come to Budget and Finance, just so we're all in the loop. So make sure that we're all,
No judgment.
Yeah.
I just need to know how to document it. That's
no,
all.
that's fine. Anything, anybody else before we can adjourn? All right. We will adjourn. We ran over. It's 12 after 8. Thank you all for coming and see you all next week.